The objective for this lesson is I can name decimal fractions in expanded, unit, and word forms. So you're just in this lesson, we're just taking numbers that are in standard form. And we are going to write them in word form, which you did all last year, expanded form, which you did, and then unit form, which is the one that might be a little different. But I'm going to show you how to do the first two and then have you do the last two. All right, here we go. So the first one, standard form, you have to write that. And again, the trick to writing any number in word form is to be able to pronounce it out loud. So make sure you see the decimal point there, but that you pronounce that number 37 and 215 thousandths, right? So if you can say it, you can write it. So that would be 37, excuse my poor printing, and remember the decimal point stands for and then 215, so messy, thousandths, because the last digit in that decimal ends in the thousandth place. Then you'd write that in expanded form, which most of you are pretty good at. So you just break each one apart. That first number has a value of 30 plus 7 plus, then we get into decimals now, remember, one number at a time. So 2/10 plus 1/100 plus 5 thousandths. All right, so that's how you do those two. And then the unit form is the one that takes a lot to write and might be a little trickier. So unit form, you're just breaking down each digit as far as the number. So in this case, a 3, and then the 3 is in what place. So what do you multiply the 3 by to get the value of 30? So you take one number at a time. You would take your 3, no color, and then, well, how do you get to this value? Well, it's in the tenths place. So you move to multiply by 10. 3 times 10 plus, you have a 7 in the ones place, so 7 times 1, 7 ones, plus, now we're getting to decimals, so it's a 2, you don't put a decimal point, 2 what? It's in the tenths place. So you write the fraction 1/10, 2 tenths, then you have 1/100th, so plus 1 times 1/100th plus 5 thousandths. So you're basically taking each number and telling me what you're multiplying it by, basically what place value it's located in. So the 3 is in the tens place, the 7 is in the ones, the 2 is in the tenths, the 1 is in the hundredths, and the 5 is in the thousandths place. And so what I'm going to do is, after I erase, I'm erasing too much of this, I'll write them back in for you, and I'll leave this problem, 7 times 1, 7 times 1/10. I'll leave that example there for you, and I want you to, this will take a little time, so you're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil, but I want you to first write this circled number in word form. All right, so word form, again, if you can pronounce it, you can write it. So it's 9 and, the decimals, and 600, looks like an O, 183, sorry, it's hard to write with this pen, stylus. 683, and that 3 ends in the thousandths with a THS place. So 9 and 683 thousandths is how you'd write that. Okay. Next, I want you to, let me get rid of that so you can see better. I want you to write this number in expanded form. How would you write that in expanded form? All right, you'd break apart the number, so you just have a whole number of 9 plus 6/10 plus 8/100 plus 3/1000. Hopefully you got that. Good, and then the next thing I want you to, last thing I want you to try is I want you to write this same number in unit form. Remember, you can look at that example up there to help you, and it's going to take a little more space, but how would you write this number in unit form? Okay, so you go one number at a time. Your 9 times, it's in the ones place. Then your 6, always do times, what place it's in, the tenths place. Then you have your 8, what place is it in? It's in the hundredths place. And then your 3 times, it's in the thousandths place. So hopefully you got most of that right. So this is the kind of problems you're going to have today in your independent practice, and you can go back and watch this video as many times as you need to. I think you'll be pretty, usually you guys are really good in expanded form. Just make sure you spell things right in word form, and then go back and look at